celebrate the state.
The people.
The magic.
The memories.
The bright lights and the high rides.
The sparkling eyes.
Over 2 full weekends.
The Royal Adelaide Show. The show of a lifetime. Free purchase tickets and save. theshow.com.au.
You're welcome to be on. Well, hello, South Australia, and welcome to another, well, not so sunny day here at the Royal Adelaide Show. I'm here with my good friend David Foster because we've got a huge competition coming up.
Yeah, we've got the tree felling, which is one of the most spectacular ones. They jump on a board, and they put 3 boards in a tree, cut the front of the log, come back down and do it again. So you need to be agile, you need to be thimble, and you don't need to be as big as me.
Hold on, I want to talk about that for a second because we were walking down here before yesterday and I saw some little blokes, some tall blokes, some skinny blokes, some big blokes. There's all sorts of shapes and sizes out here.
All different shapes and sizes, and it doesn't make no matter what shape and size you are. It's anybody can chop wood.
I love that. Hey, I heard a rumour, because you're from Tasmania, that this sport started in Tasmania over 2 blokes and a £25 wager.
That's right, 1870. And it proved such a great success, and the event was so close, so that's how the sport started.
Just extraordinary. Now, I don't want to embarrass you here, but I'm going to. I was researching you yesterday, and I think you have more world titles than not only any other person in your sport, but any other person in any sport in the world. How many world titles do you have?
I've won 186 world titles, but I've also won one particular world title 21 years straight. And apparently no other sport athlete in the world has ever won a world title 21 years straight. So it's been pretty ordinary.
You're amazing. Seriously, I'm so lucky to be talking to you.
Well,
hey,
thank you.
Speaking of history, though, and making history, we have been really proud of the wood chopping here at the Royal Adelaide Show for eons. Yeah. Goes back a really long way. I've actually dug up some really old footage that I want to show you because you might recognise some old friends.
Okay, let's have a bit of a look at this then.
This is a bit of tree felling back in the day.
Yeah, this is tree felling back in the day, and this will be the event that we'll be looking at in a minute. And I think the back marker, so this is what we call underhand chopping as well. So, I think we're going to be watching one of these maybe races as well very soon.
David, shouldn't those blokes be wearing boots? They don't look like the right shoes to wear when you're chopping with an axe.
Well, you're not going to be worrying about axes. These guys are professional wood choppers, and yeah, so
are they wearing Dunlop volleys?
Dunlop volleys, and without the steel cap toe. Because there's a great thing if you cut your sand shoe with a steel cap, you would ruin the axe. Now you wouldn't want to do that, would you? Now
I love that. So the axe is more important than the toes.
Yeah, well, it's $600.
You're hilarious. So, is it just for the spectacle that we go up as high as we do in this tree felling, or is there a reason we go up higher to do our tree felling?
Every event in this wood chopping arena represents our history of the first settling here. Now, if you see those big old trees back years ago, they had these massive big butts, and then they used to taper up. Well, the guys would use axes and crosscut saws, so instead of cutting through these real big butts and getting hard in any timber, they would go up the tree, so that they would put these shoe boards in. So this is what we're doing here today.
Just extraordinary. Now, we actually have moved this event a little bit forward in time because the rain is starting to come down just a little here, not enough to deter you from coming down to the show if you wanted to. But
we've got a great day here at the show again, so every 10 minutes at the wood chopping arena, there's an event.
But we don't want these guys to do it when there's more precipitation, do we? Because it's more dangerous then.
Oh, well, other tree fellas, who cares? No, I'm just joking because I'm not a tree fella. But no, safety is the biggest thing, and we're not that far. We're not that far away from a start. I think the young bloke here warming up already for it.
I think he was doing a little backward somersault. Then is that useful?
Not that I would know, but anyway, the last time I done a somersault, I can't remember. I might have been 7.
So talk us through the training, though, because we talked about the different physiques. There's ladies out here doing so well as well. There's little blokes, tall blokes, short blokes, big blokes. What's the training?
Well, you might see us with a bit of a beer belly, what we call beer belly, but we are very, very. The guys train very hard. A lot of the guys and ladies would be going to the gym. They would chop a lot of blocks as well. So generally, cardio, very hard cardio, wood chopping, because you go from a standard start and then bang, full exhaustion. So,
how do we ensure that everyone's got a comparable block of wood to chop today?
Yeah, well, that's up to the logging contractor, but he tries very hard. He'll get a tree and he'll cut 6 or 8 blocks for the final. They all go through a lathe, so every axeman's got the same size log. So there's a lot of care, but you can't see inside those logs. So sometimes there is what we call a knot, which is a little limb that's been broken off when the tree was growing, and the tree's grown around that. So that's what we call a knot. So unfortunately, with the axes we use, they're valued at over $600. The razor's sharp, and if you hit one of these knots, you can actually ruin the axe. So sometimes you might see the guys pull up and just save that axe.
Now, I'm curious, they're going to make their way up this tree with divots that they create themselves.
Yeah. They call that footholes or shoe holes. Now, those tree felling boards have got a little steel clip on them, and they actually go into the tree and they actually sort of hang on. So, so I just think we're nearly waiting for a couple more minutes, I think, and then we'll be on here.
Now, boys and girls, mums and dads, if you're watching from home and you haven't seen woodshop here before, you're actually going to hear counting early on. Could you explain that counting to us? Why is that important?
Okay, well, the back marker here, I think, is about 87, and he's a very good tree fella. So we have a handicap system. So, and that handicap system works with the amount of events that the guys won or the amount of prize money. So the better you are, the further you go back. So
not dissimilar to horse racing, where we advantage and disadvantage people based on their performance with weight.
Yeah. No, well, if you look at weight, I'd be the heavyweight.
Not what I meant.
I'd be the heavyweight every day, wouldn't I? But
I don't think you're a jockey, David Foster.
No, every time I even go to the horses, they go, oh no, I hope he's not riding me today. Yeah.
Well, let's go and line up here to see the start of this, and you can walk us through the action as it happens.
So what they'll do now is they're actually calling out the competitors. So the back marker, as you can see, is Jake Dingle. He's from Queensland, and he's off 87 behind. Next guy on position 2 is actually Michael Tucker. He's from Tasmania, and Michael's on 52.
You look at the age difference here. Like, you've got the young buck out here, you've got a very experienced fellow.
Yeah, I think Jake's about 27, 28. And then you're Mick Tucker's 62 years of age. So Michael's made the Australian veterans team. We've got a Western Australian, we've got 2 brothers actually made the final as well.
Fantastic bit of family rivalry.
Yes.
So what we'll actually see here is
he'll start on the handicap of 5, and the next one will be 15, then 20, 22, 52, back to the back marker of 87. So what he's done now, these guys will put between 4 and 6 hits on these bottom ones, and the third one that he stands on, you'll find that he'll spend a bit more time. He might be put 6 or 7 hits in that. So he's actually made a couple more hits there now. He's actually hit a couple of hits.
It looks a bit wobbly and precarious there.
Well, those boards do wobble a little bit. So watch how he springs up there now. So he'll put his other hits there. Unfortunately, this young fella's had a bit of a bad mistake first up. So we'll watch Michael Tucker there now. Michael Tucker on position 2 here. He'll start on 52. Now Michael's a pretty good tree fella. He should take about 4 to 6 hits. There we go. 1. There he's 4 hits. So there goes Michael. He drives that board in.
Screens now.
Okay, now you watch him here now, 4 or 6 more hits again, and you watch him when he gets that board. He'll pick that board up now, and he'll drive that in there. See that? Now,
Jeez, he's quick.
Now, he's 62 years age, this guy, springing up there, pretty good. Now, he'll try to make this top board a lot stronger. Now, here we are, the back marker. He'll be 87 behind. So that's Jake Dingle. So he's waiting for his start. And
fellow in maroon, all the way from Queensland.
How much quicker he is. He'll pop that board in there, flick that in.
There we go, the camera's got him now.
And they'll keep doing that. And as we look down the line here now, on position 6, these guys are... So that's actually Brian Palgaard. Now, Brian is actually from Denmark. So he's going pretty good. Our front marker, young Austin, he's down, and it won't be long. You'll be looking down. Okay, now we're looking at we're actually looking at Brett Reynolds. Now Brett's coming down. He's from Western Australia. We've got young Mitchell coming down beside him, and now our back marker, Mick Tucker, he's down as well. So Mick's picked up a lot of ground there. So he's actually down with the young fellas. And it won't be long. If we go to the back marker now, you'll watch him come down this tree here. You'll throw that axe down. Those boards will go nearly exactly out. Now, the back marker's got a big chance here today.
So this is our back marker on your screens now.
Back marker there. Had a bit of trouble with his boards there, falling in the wrong spot. But looking down, I reckon that our man from Denmark, Brian Palgaard, he's going to be first up there. Remember that Brian started on 15 seconds behind. So he's up there now. So watch him go. He'll put his 2 up. He put 2 hits up like that. And he'll go 2 hits down. And then he will he'll keep working that. Now our veteran, Mick Tucker, as we can see on position 3 here, Mick's up there as well. Now Mick's a pretty good tree fella. So this is going to be a pretty good race, and we're not that far away from the back markers. But Brian, I think he's going to be very, very hard to beat here. He's all the way from Denmark. He's our only international competitor, and if he's done the work in the front, so if he's got a decent front, he's going to be very, very hard to beat here. But Mick Tucker's coming home as well, but Brian's punching here now. So I'd say Brian's going to win this. I'd find it very hard if Brian gets beat from there. Here we go. All the
Listen
way
to the
from
crowd
Denmark.
behind it.
Here at the Royal Adelaide Show, Mick Tucker's going to be 62 years of age, and I reckon he's going to come second. There we go. And we're looking down the line here now. We're looking at young Austin there, who was our first cutter, and we're looking at young Mitchell here. Those 2 boys are brothers, and I reckon Mitch is going to beat his brother here. Although the back markers just come up to come third. So he did a really good job off 87 seconds behind. Jake Dingle from Queensland. So it's going to be very close here for the minor placings here now. We've got Mitchell punching off. He's just got beat. He's just got beat by our Western Australian guy, Brett Reynolds as well. So that's a tree felling. We'll wait here now for this for young Austin. And he's got one more hit and he'll get him off here. One more.
The crowd will get behind him.
They've got him behind him. So what a great race. So we'll go over to Brian.
So we've on home soil here in Australia, we've been beaten by an international guest.
Yes. Hey Brian, well done.
Oh, thanks, Buster. Thank you.
We're actually live streaming this. So
Hey, Mum.
Hey mate, how good's that? Guess what? Tell Mum what you've just done.
I think I just won enough money for a couple of beers tonight.
Yeah, mate. This is what your second or third trip here?
It's actually my fourth.
Your fourth trip, yeah. Fourth trip.
Yeah.
So have you won the tree felling here before?
I think it's the first time I ever won the tree down here.
Yeah.
So pretty pleased with that.
Yeah. Well
Especially
done.
one of the big ones here.
Yeah, that's right. Proudly sponsored by Coopers as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an Australian-owned beer company. Have you heard of them?
Oh, I taste it every night.
Sponsored by them.
Yeah. So is that what you trained on?
Oh, I had a big breakfast this morning and
Yeah.
Tell us, how does the competition compare to that at home? Is it a strong competition at home? Is there a big axe community?
Oh, I wish people back home was just as bloody good as these Australians because the level here is just top dog, you know.
Tell me, who are you most concerned about today in terms of competition? Who are you really keen to beat?
I really want to beat most people here, but I really have to fight for it, really, yeah.
Well, it was wonderful watching you up there. It was a real spectacle. Thank you for everything you've done for the sport
And
today.
I remember 4 years ago when you first come here, and how much more you've improved with the competition. So back in Denmark, when the chopping at Denmark, how do you rate in their chopping?
Oh, well, Denmark is a pretty small country and wood chopping isn't the biggest thing back home, so...
Yeah.
Oh, back home it's mostly just a family sport, but I guess it's a big family sport over here as well.
Beautiful. Well, mate, congratulations.
Thanks, Buster.
All the way going
Thank you.
back. Good on you, buddy.
We're going to make our way over.
It just proves that you can come here to the Royal Adelaide Show. We've been chopping here ever since 1905, and we're getting competitors from all over the world here. So, you know, fantastic job for Adelaide.
Now, I wonder if you could explain to us what we're looking at here, because the next event requires this setup.
Underhand. Okay, well, I'll come this side. Here we go. So what we do is that we actually set this log up. We put these dogs on the end.
Dogs?
Well, we call them dogs. They're actually just pins to hold that block in place. Then we mark the block up, and then what we do, we cut what we call footholes, because all the blocks are round. Now these footholes can be as deep as wide as we want, but as you can see, these marks here, you're actually pretty close to your feet. Some of the guys will even be closer to that. So the closer you get to your cut, is the more power that you get.
So hold on, David, do each of our competitors come out knowing where they're going to be positioned and set up their footholds?
Yes.
And set up their markings?
That's right. Every competitor sets their own block up. So this gentleman would have cut heaps of blocks. He's marked the block up. He's cut his footholds out. And then we put, a lot of people ask for the reason for the nails. Now these nails around the end of the log here. Now these nails here, they actually prevent what we call a slab, or an uncut piece of wood. When this axeman hits his first two hits, he'll go here. If it's a soft piece of wood, that piece could slab off to the end of the log. So those nails there hold that chip into position while he comes down on the other hit. So he can be disqualified by three ways. If he cuts through these footholes in competition, he'll be disqualified. Not a good idea with your Dunlop volleys.
Fair call.
Second, his handicap is 7. So if he starts before his time, he'll be disqualified. And if he slabs, so what he's done now, if he starts before 7, he'll be disqualified. If he cuts through his footholes, he'll be disqualified. And if he slabs, so he's actually nailed for the slabs. And I think we're nearly ready for the presentation for the tree.
All right, let's make our way over, and we'll hand over to the officials to make the presentation for this class. My great pleasure. Thank you for helping us.
Thank you. Tree fellas, could I have Brian Pallisgard, Mick Tucker and Jake Dingle to come get their ribbon? Thank you.
Oh, you know Jake?
Oh, only from the Eka.
Yeah, I tell you what, they move around, these boys. Well done. Up here.
I actually climbed my first tree in New Zealand. Climbed my second tree in Adelaide.
Right, very good, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just wait for David to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of the Royal Adelaide Show, I'm delighted to have Lindsay Douglas here to present the prizes to this tree felling handicap. These trees are always well watched in Adelaide, and they're fantastic to see these younger and older people show their skills. So with great pleasure I have to present first prize to Brian Pallisgard. Well done, Brian. Brian tells me he climbed his first tree in Adelaide about 5 or 6 years ago, and we were holding our breath making sure he didn't fall out, and now he's on #1 block. Well done, lad. Second, 62 years of age, Mick Tucker. Congratulations, Mick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you back at Adelaide. And third, Jake Dingle, off 87 seconds behind. Well done, Jake. You did a terrific job. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Brian, well done, lad. All the way from Denmark, where they've got mountains in Denmark. I think the highest mountain's 162 metres high.
Yeah, it's pretty tall, yeah. I'd just like to thank all the sponsors of this event, as well as the competitors. I owe this win for a lot of people who told me how to cut trees over the years, so thanks.
Thank you very much. Mick, you haven't been to Adelaide for a while, and back here winning some money must be great for you.
It's always a pleasure to come to Adelaide and take some money off you, Howard. But it's a pleasure to cut second. Yes, I am 62, and I'm feeling every bit of it, but it's such a pleasure to come to this show and compete. It's definitely one of the premier shows in Australia, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Mick. Mick is the Mayor of St Helens in Tasmania, so I'm glad you've got some time off to come and see us. Now, all the way from Queensland, famous Dingle family, Jake, well done.
Yeah, thanks, Howard. Just like to congratulate Brian on his win. Probably you don't see too many foreigners come to Australia winning tree felling events, so it's a great credit to him. And also to Mick, a veteran axeman, being a great axeman for a lot of years, and it's good to see him still getting up on the podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, boys. And Coopers were the sponsors, and thanks, Coopers, for their kind sponsorship of this event. What about a big hand for these guys? A great event.
Now, Howard Bone, you've been involved with the wood shop here for many, many years. Tell me, what do you love about it particularly?
Well, I think that, firstly, I love sport. And I've got to say that this might sound a bit gushy, but the people that are at the woodcutting that come along to perform are great people. They have a great family atmosphere. We had a little disaster here a couple of days ago, and they all pulled together, and we're back out there. It's just fabulous people. And they're red-hot competitors, but they're mates. And it's really Australian, that's what Australia stands for. We have a go. Indeed. And we have a laugh about it.
And do you know what? When I interview people around the grounds and say, what's your favourite part of the show, they inevitably say the wood shop.
Well, I spent a lot of time going around coaching them.
Paying people a lot of money. I don't think you have to. Hey, I'm going to do a wander down here and see if we can have a look at an axe. Tell David to follow me when you can. Never mind, we'll be right. We know enough. We know enough between us, don't we?
Well, I've never chopped wood in anger before. So, but I've been around for some time.
Hello. Now, I'm sorry to interrupt you over here, but we're live streaming at the moment. I want to show the boys and girls at home what an axe might look like. And if you could describe the various elements of it, Ben Stevens.
It's just the friggin' 52 chisel cut there. And it's an engineer for axemen. One of the new ones out.
How much did this cost you, do you mind me asking?
500.
500?
For the head, and then $60 for the handle.
And how do you know you're getting a good one? What are you looking for?
Well, just the technique in there, and if it's, you could get different steel in it and stuff like that.
Now, what's your handicap for this next event?
7.
Okay, and where are you from?
New South Wales.
So am I. I'm going to cheer for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fantastic.
He needs all the help he can get, don't you, Benny?
Yeah, that's right, David.
He's a good lad, mate, Benny.
Yeah,
He's my brother. You wouldn't believe we were brothers, would you? Have a look at us. Siamese twins. That's what the best part is, that I can remember watching Benny grow up, mate, and this is the best part about this sport of wood chopping, is that, and believe it or not, he was born a day after I was, but only 40 years later.
30.
Do you have as many world titles as this bloke?
I got none.
It's all right. You might be on a starting track today.
Start from here somewhere. You got to start from somewhere. Good on you, Benny. Best of luck, buddy.
Thank you.
So we might go down and see if we can catch anybody. Well, that's blown the whistle now. So this event's going to be on. So I reckon we might just get back down here now, and we can talk about the event that's going to happen.
It's hard to describe to you all, but it's actually quite dangerous here on the ground. There are wood chips flying everywhere.
Yeah. Well, especially when there's blocks floating around and bits and pieces as well. We kind of know what's going on, but you're walking around with a microphone and the camera's chasing you and everything. So this is a second division, I think. So that means it's the next stage under the big guys. So we've got Noel Marsh on number 1. He's from New South Wales. And then we've got a couple of Tasmanians. And then we've got young Scrimler that just actually cut in the tree. So he's
going to be in several events.
Yes, where he actually cut in a standing block earlier on, had the tree. I think he sawed. So he's had a really, really busy day today.
So just to simplify it for the boys and girls and mums and dads, we're going to see our competitor with the shortest handicap here at the start, who we met a second ago, Ben.
Yeah.
All the way down to what in theory is the quickest competitor.
That's right. Well, he's won his way back there by winning more money. Yeah.
So we will hear the countdown again, won't we? Or count up, I should say.
Count up. So Brett's on 7. and Benny Shepherd, who you've just interviewed. Isn't he great, isn't he?
He's a lovely chap.
Oh, mate.
I'm cheering for him.
Yeah, well, New South Wales. There's a couple of New South Welsmen. Now, I'm a Tasmanian, so I'm going to barrack for Tasmania. You can go barrack for New South Wales. How's that? So you've got 2 runners, and you've got 3 runners, and I've got 2.
Yeah, I'm at the start and the end.
Yeah.
So Benny gets going now, doesn't he?
7. There goes 7. Young Mitchell, Richard, and then Michael, and they'll just wait for... And now there goes Noel. So here they go. So look, young Benny's the first around. He's cutting pretty good as well. He seems like he's going pretty good. I tell you what, he's going for the punch. I know he's gone back over again. He's going to punch. I tell you what, Benny's got a big chance here.
Come on, Benny.
He's got himself pinched. The block split open a little bit. Oh no, I think he's blew it. I've got a feeling that I think he's off. I think he might have. I don't know. I don't know. He's shaking his head. It's quite obvious he must have left a little bit of wood in the front. So
just been a poor angle.
Yeah. So all the cuts have got to meet up. So when you see him, he was punching and punching and punching, and it's quite obvious that he's just got past his cut, and then the block started to split open. So looking down the line there now, I'm not quite sure who won it. Whether Benny won it or whether he got beat up the line. So we'll have to wait for the result.
Who adjudicates and how do they adjudicate?
Okay, well they've got a video system. It's a fantastic video system, and it goes down to 1/100th of a second. So each frame is 1/100th of a second. So they'll reframe that now and go to the video, and we'll see what happens. But I got a feeling, I wouldn't be at all surprised that Tasmania might have got a place there.
Tasmania again. You guys got everything in this
mate, we need to. There's only a little island down there, you know. Yeah. But, you know, what great comradeship here. So we'll just have to wait and see. We just have to wait to see the video whether Benny got through or not. So.
Howard, who are our officials here today who are examining the wood at the moment?
Well, we have a ringmaster, which is going to blowing the whistle now. His name is Boyd Ockerman, and he's the man that drives the whole show. We have an event every 10 minutes, and his job is to then blow the whistle once they've agreed that all the logs are correct, and so allows the people in the ring to set up for the next one. So when he blows the whistle again, he'll blow it with 1 minute to go before the 9 minutes time, so we can start the next event. But he drives...
It's quite a sophisticated operation.
It is. I mean, you know, there's some very clever people who put it together.
Yes.
And
lucky you whispered that, Howard. Lucky you.
But we've been refining it for some time.
Well, we're just going to show the boys and girls behind us the setup that goes on in between each of the events.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, what's happening now is that they're getting be prepared now for the final of the Jack and Jill. So every 10 minutes down here, there's an event. Here we go. The announcement. See what.
Underhand Handicap. First on block 6.
Benny! You won it!
Go, Benny! Come on. Okay, come on with us. We're going to go get an interview with our champion. Ben, congratulations! Well done. Hey, you looked a bit disappointed at the end. What was going through your head? Explain it for the boys and girls that haven't seen wood chopping before.
Didn't really put a good cut in the front, but I'm happy to get the win anyway.
Yeah.
You were absolutely hammering away there for a while.
Getting it off on the top, it's kept splitting on me.
Yeah.
So, no.
And the reason for that, I try to explain people, you actually went past your cut, and as you can see, the front, it wasn't a real good front, so you were lucky that the block split off. But Benny, at the end of the day, who cares? You're the winner, Benny.
Win's a win.
Oh, happy as New South Wales go the Blues.
We had a bet, and she won.
Nice.
She went for New South Wales, I went for Tasmania. Benny, you and I are going to see each other later.
Yeah, that's all right.
You're in trouble.
Well, we're going to have the presentation in just a moment now once we let our forklift get past us. Oh, sorry, we won't have a presentation for that at all. But I'll tell you what we've got coming up for the rest of the day here today. We've had a wonderful time down at the woodshop. And if you want to come down and see it today, I know you might have work on, but sneak out and pop down to the Royal Adelaide show because, as David Foster said, we have a woodshop every 10 minutes here. So come on down, boys and girls, to the show.
Yeah, and every day from now on we have a international test match. Today is the final test for the ladies, Australia versus New Zealand international race. Tomorrow we're we've got the first test match for the men, the veterans, and we've got the under-21. So every day there's an international race now until Saturday. And like I said, from 9:30 in the morning through to 6 o'clock at night, there's an event here.
Well, it's pretty amazing down here. The atmosphere's fantastic, and finally the weather's fining up a little bit more for us, so wonderful opportunity to come down here and see it. I'll tell you what, boys and girls, I'm feeling a little bit peckish, so I'm going to go and grab myself an ice cream here at the grounds, and then I'm going to take you all to the Dairy Pavilion to show you how it's made.
Oh, sounds good to me. Can I come?
You're absolutely welcome. David Foster, thank you.
I've eaten a few ice creams.
Stop.
Good on you. Thank you.
Oh, you're brilliant. Oh, well, I'm sort of an official now here in the wood shop. I found myself a new job. But boys and girls, we will see.
I used to get the job, but no, yeah, only because, I wonder why. They said she's better looking.
Are you suggesting I'm not a wood shop champion? No.
No, I am. But, yeah, you're lucky you're good look. You're lucky you're good looking. That's what I reckon.
And we will see you down at the Dairy Pavilion, and we can't wait to show you some of the families that have been here for generations and generations. We're going to show you how milk, cheese, ice cream, all the delicious stuff is made. We'll see you in a few moments' time.
Let's celebrate the state.
The people.
The magic.
The memories.
The bright lights and high rides.
The sparkling eyes.
Over 2 full weekends.
The Royal Adelaide Show. The show of a lifetime. Free purchase tickets and save. theshow.com.au